spent almost 2 years in school working for a small ad agency and decided I was done. I didn't care if I had to take a significant pay cut. I wanted to wake up every morning and love what I do and feel great about the people that I worked with. So I decided to get my real estate license, and about that time I was having brunch with a mutual friend of mine and Lance and Karina's, and she immediately called Lance and said, "Oh my God, you've got to talk to this girl, she's getting her license." Lance called me within 2 seconds, and because he's very responsive. And I met with them and knew immediately that this was the place I needed to be. So, and I've been on the team for 4 years now.
I don't know how to beat that introduction. Good morning, my name is Christina Nguyen. I'm the Vice President of Outside Sales for the Listing Specialist. I myself and I'm also a listing agent. There's something that's kind of bothering me right now. We have 6 open seats here in the front row. We promised we showered this morning. We brushed our teeth and we're wearing deodorant. We may spit some, but if anyone back there can't see or hear us, please welcome you to the splash zone here. Nobody? All right. Okay. Yeah, it's all right. So prior to the Loken Group, I also co-own a business. It's an upscale resale men's consignment store in the Houston area. And prior to that, I was in marketing and in business development, and also a little bit of advertising as well. One of the primary reasons why the switch from corporate and marketing to the Loken Group is Lance, you may not, he's trying to hide, are you hiding? Oh. He and his wife Karina are amazing leaders, and it's very hard to find a place where they care about your happiness, your personal, spiritual, your business, and your life goals, and want to help you achieve that to the best of their ability. I mean, where do we find that? But mainly, I heard about them, met with one of their buyer agents, Joy, at a wine bar, and which we're going to after tonight, right? So we go to wine bars a lot. Lance's wife likes wine, so it's pretty awesome.
I know.
Christmas is coming up. Lance likes wine, and so basically, really heard about his leadership, and what really sealed the deal was Lance had legitimately a spreadsheet from 2014 when I met with them, all the way through 2025. So that's kind of hot, yeah. So that got me from there.
I'm Amy. That's harder to follow. The spreadsheets didn't turn me on. So I've been with the team for just over a year. I started last August. Before that, worked in the car business. I worked for Ford Motor Company, primarily in sales, service, and customer satisfaction. I did that for just, I think, about 10 years. Prior to that, I was in hospitality management, working with Marriott International. So I found the Loken Group, the Loken Group found me. I have a friend who is in Keller Williams in Savannah, and I was just really feeling unfulfilled in the automotive business. It's not my lane. I did it for a long time, and it's a business that really doesn't want to change fundamentally, and that's so different than the values that I have, that I just wasn't feeling fulfilled. I knew it wasn't my passion, my purpose in life. And she had heard them speak and said, "You know what? You just need to meet Karina." And I said, "Okay, who's Karina?" And she's like, "Just talk to them." So from there, I just really got to know Lance and Karina and their vision for the team, and I knew that I was the perfect fit for helping to drive this bus and help us achieve our goals. So I run the inside sales division with the team, and I also am primarily responsible for the onboarding of producing agents and their first 100 days with the team.
I'm Elena. I met Lance and Karina when I was assistant MCA at our market center. I've been on the team for 4.5 years. I'm the transaction coordinator for resale listings. I'm the lowest I of the group.
Yeah. No, I'm the lowest I of the group. I don't.
Lance is the lowest I.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you for having us here. A little bit about myself. Most of my career is in the retail sector. I was a CFO, and a lot of ladies may know Francesca's Collections. I was their CFO, and that's what got us to Houston. I'm from Wisconsin and then transferred over to Pennsylvania and had a rather large furniture corporation. We were number 2 in the world behind Ashley, and then 9/11 hit and took us out of business because most of our stores were in the northeast sector of the United States. And then relocated to Houston, got into Francesca's, and then in 2008, Karina, my wife, said, hey, I like Houston so much, we're not moving. And I got this brilliant idea to get into oil and gas because I felt like, being in Houston, you can't go wrong in oil and gas. Well, 2010, we were losing $1 million a month for 8 straight months, and they let over 400 of us go in our organization. Now it's a multi-billion-dollar company, so $1 million for them wasn't very much, but going on, with the economic scale that was happening in Houston, that wasn't sustainable. So then, May 10th of 2010, that happened, and for 8 months I had offers all over the United States, and Karina said, that's great, but you're not moving, or I'm not moving, or she's not moving, so either get divorced or stay here. And so she says, why don't you get into real estate? And I said, there's no way in the world I'm stooping to that level. And and then this happened. So we started our organization in January of 2011, and we'll go through the historical background a little bit, but the first week we were in business, the first thing we did was created our mission, vision, and value statements. So there's nothing else you take away from today. That's the first thing you should absolutely do. And we created the mission statement of being your real estate solution. That's basically our mantra. Whatever it takes to take care of a client, that's what we want to do. We're not worried about the number of transactions per se. We do have big goals in mind, but at the end of the day, we want to take care of our clients. And my favorite story regarding this is, in our second year of business, there was a gentleman that was terminally ill. He had less than 6 months to live, and he had to sell his house. So in the current condition, his house was worth about $40,000. And we got a couple of contractors together, invested $20,000 into that property, sold it for $153,000 in 2 days. So he was able to take all that residual money after everything was paid, and we gave it to him, and he was able to live out the rest of his 6 months. But by thinking outside the box and trying to take care of him, we were able to help him, endure the rest of his life. But that's what we try to do at all times, is be your real estate solution.
Really quickly, guys.
www.tlgshares.com. You will find these slides in there, so you don't have to take photos or write it down verbatim. So we really just want you guys to listen to see what we have to share.
This entire presentation, our first 100 days, our listing presentation, our buyer presentation, anything you want, it's in there. So take it and use it. We have marketing materials as well that you can at least see. Please don't take them because that's one copy that we have, but you may peruse it as much as you want. So here's a little history about oh, by the way, the whole reason we came up with this name was I was talking to Tony DeCello several months ago, and we were talking about competing against other teams and businesses, and he said, so what would it look like if you quit worrying about what they were doing and focused on what you were doing? And instead of competing against other people, start dominating. And it completely shifted our mindset as far as not worrying about what other people were doing, focus on what we were going to accomplish. And it's been awesome to focus on that instead of what everybody else was doing. So 2011, we started the business. When we sat down that first week, we set out our goals for the next 6 years. And fortunately for us, Joe Rothschild, who was the #1 agent in 2011 for Keller Williams, he was in the market center where we were at. And I looked at his production, he was doing about $225 million. So when we sat down that first week, we tried to work backwards. And our goal was, and you'll see in our vision, the original goal was by 2017, we'd be #1 in Houston, and then work the numbers backwards. So the way we did it was we looked at top producing agents in real estate and figured that 8 million would be a good first year number. So we wrote the number 8 down. And then the second year we felt like we could double that business, and I don't like non-even numbers, so we rolled it up to 20 million. So wrote down the number 20 for second year. Then we felt like the third year we'd really get some traction going, so let's write down the number 60. And then that fourth year we hit that big $100 million platform, So let's write down the 100. And then went in 50 million increments through 2017. So the ultimate goal was by 2017, we'd do 250 million and be number one in Houston. Well, we got to the third year and we were kind of surpassing those numbers, so we weren't thinking big enough, which is kind of funny. So we revised our goals, and now our goal for this year is 450 million, do 2,000 transactions. And then 2018, our goal is to do 575. And then for the next 10 years, we have it all planned out. We'll do $1 billion in 2021. We'll do $2 billion in 2026. And our ultimate goal is to have 15% market share of the Houston market. And that's 30,000 transactions in a year. So we'll do that. The whole reason I'm bringing that to you is because so many of us talk about what we want to accomplish and we never write it down. Once you write it down, it becomes real, right? And you're held accountable. I told everybody what we were going to do, and everybody laughed and thought we were crazy, especially people that were already in real estate. They're like, you can't do 100 million in 3 years, 4 years. That's just crazy. And so then we went and did it, but by writing it down, it made it real. So the way we started was that first year, I don't really care for people. I'm a high D personality, so I force myself to talk to people. And Karina's awesome at talking with people. She loves being on the phone. She loves to lead generate. So we made the decision, I'll go out on all the appointments. She'll do the lead generating for me. And so that became our first inside salesperson. And then month 3, we were starting to produce a little bit and felt like, what could we do to leverage off what was non-income producing for myself? So the first thing was hiring somebody to replace me for paperwork. So we hired our